Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading. This is the awaited requested video. Someone has been very determined asking for a friendship reading between Seungkwan and Mingyu, and it is finally here. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'm just gonna jump right into it and fulfill this requested video. So the first part of this is a card to represent the connection that Mingyu and Seungkwan have. So we have South Node with Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back. Oof. I'm thinking of energies clashing already, which I mean, I already know that they kind of butt heads a lot. Okay, one card to represent Mingyu, and then one card to represent Seungkwan in this relationship. We have two. Okay, I can handle two. Two is okay. So we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed for Mingyu, Judgment, and the Hangman reverse for Seungkwan. Jajima Juggerson. Okay, so first off, with the South Node, it feels like Mingyu and Seungkwan, of course, know each other from the past. So we know that Seungkwan and Mingyu were in the same school and in the same year before they debuted together in 17. But I say they go way back in the sense of they probably have a past life together or something, because the South Node talks about who we were in a past lifetime in astrology. It talks about maybe the baggage, personality, or things we brought from a past life into this one. So this, if you look at astrology and you look at your South Node, you will get an idea of some of the things that I guess the baggage you carried on to this lifetime that you have no way of explaining why you feel a certain way or why you think a certain way. You can look at your South Node and get an idea of what baggage you're carrying. But in this case, I do feel that this card represents how in their relationship they are triggering a lot of those things for each other. They have a relationship that is clashing, a relationship that is making sure that, like a bulldozer, they get rid of all of those things from the past, making sure that they destroy anything that is not meant to be in each other's lives. And in this case, I mean this in a very metaphorical type of way, right? It could be an idea, a feeling, a sentiment, a thought. It doesn't have to be something physical. Like, I'm not saying that if Mingyu has a bad friend, Seungkwan's gonna come in and like destroy that person and be like, they're not good for your life. I'm not saying that. It could happen, but I'm not saying that that's always the case. I'm just saying that this is like destroying things that are tangible and not tangible as well, which I mentioned already what that could be. Now, the card that represents Mingyu here is the Wheel of Fortune reverse. So this kind of tells me that Mingyu in this relationship is the one that is going through like their karmic cycle of sorts, right? The one that's doing a lot of healing. Let me put it this way. Let's say Mingyu is the student here. He's learning a lot. He is experiencing a lot, and he's understanding a lot of the things that he's experiencing and going through in his journey. And in this side, especially because of the Major Arcana, we have Seungkwan that is kind of like a teacher. Even though I know Mingyu's older than Seungkwan, we can always learn from everyone around us. You know, as adults, we can learn from children. Children learn from older people, you know, their grandparents and stuff like that. And, you know, even grandparents can learn from their grandchildren, right? We can all learn from each other, basically. That's what I'm trying to get at. And in this case, even if Mingyu's older than Seungkwan, he is like the student here, and he's learning a lot from the way that Seungkwan views things, the way that he sees things, and I think that's the dynamic that they have, like student teacher. But yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune reverse, I also feel that Mingyu in this relationship is someone that always comes with a problem when he feels stagnant, or if something's not working out, or if it feels like the world is against him. That is the type of sentiment that Mingyu has in this relationship. And the card that represents him kind of shows that it's kind of like if the odds are not in Mingyu's favor. That is the best way I can describe the way that Mingyu is represented in this dynamic. Now with Seungkwan, we have Judgment and the Hangman reversed. So with Judgment, we have Pluto and Neptune energy right here. So we have a lot of things that are unknown to water planets, if you want to see it that way, right? Because Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, which are water signs. Anyway, so here with the Hangman reverse, I want to talk about that one first. With it being reversed, we are talking about someone that is finally going out of a moment of stillness, out of a moment of stagnation. It is someone that is seeing clearly, and this is very important because, as I mentioned with the Neptune card, with the Neptune planet here, Neptune is talking about dreams, confusion, illusion, things that cannot be seen. And I do feel with the Hangman reverse, it kind of shows that Sunkwon is very good at discerning people's intentions, understanding the situations that he's in. He's very, very good at reading the room, reading people. He could be very sensitive to the shifts of energy of people's emotions and stuff. So he's pretty aware. Let me just put it that way. He's very aware of his surroundings. He's able to see past a lot of confusion, a lot of this blur line. He's able to actually see where one thing ends, where one thing begins, and in a very intuitive way. Like he kind of just knows if something's wrong, or he knows if something's not working out. So Sunkwon is very intuitive. And with his judgment card, it kind of shows that Sunkwon is pretty close to his calling. So whatever his purpose is, he's very connected to it, and because of that, it could be why he's very good at discerning the issues that he's going through, the transformations, the changes, and the shifts. So the type of energy that represents Sunkwon is someone that is very aware of changes and is very adaptable as well. So on one hand, we have Mingyu that feels like destiny and fate is going against him, so changes are not in his favor. And then with Sunkwon, he's very aware of those shifts. Now, how does Mingyu see Sunkwon? We have the Hierophant reverse and the Hangman upright. How does Sunkwon see Mingyu? We have the Seven of Cups. Yeah. Okay, so Mingyu sees Sunkwon as someone that is very respectable in a way. So with the Hierophant, we're talking about someone that is very knowledgeable about the spiritual world, or someone that is very stable, someone that we have the number 5, so we're talking about change, and the Hierophant talks about Taurus energy. So Mingyu sees how Sunkwon is someone that is slow and steady, someone that is very determined, someone that works very hard to make his dreams come true, and it is also someone that is very focused on whatever their goals are, and it is someone that is very very stubborn and fixed on their way of doing things, as well as their way of their path towards whatever goal or whatever laser focus they are in. So in this case, if Sunkwon has a goal in mind, Mingyu really admires how Sunkwon is able to stay loyal to that path and stay very consistent towards approaching that goal and making it true and real and manifesting it. But yeah, with this Hierophant reverse, I also feel that like Sunkwon is not a leader, or is not officially someone that people follow, I guess, or Sunkwon is not a teacher by trade. Like that's not his job, that's not his position, that's not how he sees himself, and that's not how people usually see him. But with the Hierophant reverse, it kind of shows that Mingyu values the leadership that Sunkwon has naturally, and not only within his life but also in group environments. And with the Hangman here, we have water element, but as I mentioned, is Neptune energy as well. With this Hangman upright, funnily enough, it also feels like Mingyu is able to see a lot of the things that Sunkwon doesn't see about himself. Now I'm starting to see the Hangman a bit different, considering that the Hangman represents Sunkwon, but also that's how Mingyu sees him. It kind of shows that there are parts of Sunkwon that Mingyu is able to see, admires, and acknowledges that Sunkwon is not even aware of. So kind of like whatever Sunkwon's strengths are, it's so intuitive to him that he doesn't even realize that it's a strength and it is a skill. But to Mingyu, it's something that is valuable and should be appreciated and celebrated, because that is something that doesn't intuitively come to him. So, you know, it's those things that since Mingyu doesn't have those skills, he's able to acknowledge them and see them for what they are. But for Sunkwon, it's so intuitive that it's not even a skill. It's not something you learn. It's just life for him. Now, the card that we have for Seungkwan is the Seven of Cups. So he sees Mingyu as someone that has a lot of options, as someone that is always deciding, picking, doing things, someone that has a lot of paths ahead of him, a lot of opportunities, someone that, with the Seven of Cups, it talks about someone that can go in any path in any direction because there's always opportunities available to them. So to me, this is pretty clear cut. Seungkwan sees Mingyu as someone that is capable of doing a lot of things, someone who's very, very skilled, versatile, and a jack of all trades type of thing. And someone that, because of their ability, in this case, Mingyu's ability to just do a bunch of things and learn very quickly, Seungkwan sees that as someone that has a lot of opportunities for doing a bunch of things because of their very versatile, I guess, skills. Now let's go on to the next part, which is how do Mingyu and Seungkwan like to spend their time together. So they believe in the impossible. The way that they like to spend their time together is by planning, talking, or thinking of what is not been made. Maybe they like to talk about the goals and dreams that they have in life. With the blue moon, it definitely feels like they like to talk about the funny coincidences of life, of things that feel like destiny and fate, and things that feel greater and outside of themselves. It feels like both of them like to spend their time. Okay, it feels like they rarely do this though. They rarely talk about this coincidences or these divine interventions or those times where things just kind of fall into place. They might not do this often, but when they do, it's a time that they really treasure and that they really, really like, because it's probably when they get along. That's probably things that they agree on. It's not often that this happens, but they like to talk about the things, the things that they want to manifest into their life, the things that they want to live through, and the things that they want to experience. It also feels like they like to spend their time together by thinking of all the possibilities out there in life. So they like to, in a way, spend their time together by looking at the bigger picture in their lives and the universe and Earth and things way outside of themselves as people and individuals. So what does Mingyu like about Seungkwan? You have the Seven of Swords reversed. The Ten of Cups. So the thing that Mingyu likes about Seungkwan is the Seven of Swords reversed, and the first thing is honesty. So Mingyu really likes how honest Seungkwan is and how Seungkwan doesn't hold back. Here we have a moon in Aquarius, so that kind of shows that Mingyu really likes how unique Seungkwan is and Seungkwan's ability to kind of stay very true to himself and in a way of being innovative within conventions and rules, if that makes sense. I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. Because yes, Aquarius can be seen as a rebellious energy and someone that is always striving to do different things, to be unique and to be this version of themselves that they feel like they can never get at. But with Seungkwan, I always see him as someone that's very grounded and earthy. So I do feel that this is someone that is innovative and is always trying new things, but doesn't necessarily go outside of the norm per se. It's kind of like thinking outside the box without breaking it. So it's not like breaking conventions or doing something completely different and out of this world. It's just like tweaking it a little bit that it's uniquely him. And in this case, Mingyu really values how Seungkwan is able to kind of put his own flavor into the things that he does, into his career, the way that he speaks, the way that he presents himself, and all of those things. That's something that Mingyu really admires and really likes. And again, with the Seven of Swords reverse, it kind of shows that he really values how honest and straightforward Seungkwan is and how Seungkwan doesn't hold back and how he's able to just be very straightforward and honest, and he's not going around with these mental games of trying to trick people or not saying enough or like being mysterious and stuff. Like, Mingyu doesn't really appreciate that, so he instead likes how Seungkwan is very straightforward and treats him with that very upfront and blunt way of viewing and seeing things. Now, the thing that Seungkwan likes about Mingyu is this Ten of Cups energy. So these 10 of Cups usually talks about a happily ever after. It talks about family, home, being emotionally satisfied and happy and content. And this specifically, this 10 of Cups kind of shows someone that is going outside of their hometown, or kind of like having like these two worlds coming together and meeting, and kind of like creating this new lifestyle, this new life, this new light, right? It's like bringing two cultures together, bringing two worlds together. So I think this could mean that Seungkwan really admires or really likes how Mingyu has this natural ability to just bring people together and being able to bring a lot of happiness and union into this group of misfits. Let me just put it that way. People that you will not see together, people that don't really even think about hanging out together. Mingyu somehow manages to bring everyone together, make everyone comfortable, and make everyone feel happy, content, and appreciated in this environment, in this circle. And it also looks like Seungkwan really admires how optimistic Mingyu is and how happy Mingyu tries to be, because I do feel that happiness is something that Mingyu chooses to go for and tries to not blindly be optimistic, but someone that works through their fears, their pain, and their anger, so like that they can end up in a position where they're happy. That's what I'm getting at. So it seems like Seungkwan really admires and really likes how just joyful Mingyu is. Now let's go on to the next one, which is what has Mingyu learned from Seungkwan? We have Strength reverse and the Ace of Wands upright. We have the Five of Swords and the Six of Swords reverse. So the thing that Mingyu has learned from Seungkwan, we have Strength reverse, which is Leo energy. Oops. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is fire energy. That's strange. I'll say it anyways. So with the strength energy, it kind of feels that Mingyu has learned from Seungkwan how to be unapologetically himself in a very tamed way. So it's kind of Mingyu has learned how to be himself in a very conventional way, I guess I could say, like being able to say what he thinks, do what he wants to do, and still feel comfortable within his career. I guess the best way I can explain it is that Mingyu was able to learn how to be himself in a way where he doesn't come off as rude or mean to other people. I guess that's the best way I can say it. So Mingyu strikes me as someone that does without thinking, just says without thinking as well. Like he just, like whatever he feels, he just comes out, right? He's an Aries sun, so that's pretty natural to just follow his impulses. But I do feel that because of that, Aries energy is very blunt, very, very blunt, and very straightforward as well. Again, someone that doesn't like mind games or anything. Very honest, very straightforward, very individualistic. Not necessarily selfish, just someone that really values the fact that they're an individual and really values the fact that everyone is their own person, basically. So, and also Aries energy is a type of energy that doesn't realize that other people are not like them. So they're like, I'm going to say what I think when I feel it, and I'm going to do what I want when I feel like doing it, and I just like I view the world this way and I go within these morals, I assume everyone around me is doing that same thing, right? Doing things when they feel like it, saying things when they think about them on the spur of the moment, right? Like, an Aries cannot really fathom that people are different from them in that sense, right? They think just like I'm honest and true to myself, everyone's honest and true to themselves. That's why they act the way that they do. That's why Aries tends to like get a lot into clashing energies and in trouble, because just like they are very straightforward and blunt, they kind of think other people are the same way, and that's why they don't realize that they come off as a bit rude or insensitive sometimes. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. But anyways, with this strength card reverse, it kind of also shows that Mingyu learned what his weaknesses were, what his shortcomings were, and he learned from Sunkwon how to grow from that, being able to face those without fear, being able to grow from those experiences, and kind of create this new beginning that is filled with motivation, inspiration, and has created this spark for Mingyu to just kind of bring himself and be like a new person again. Also, with this Leo energy, we're talking about confidence, optimism, and even this childlike joy of being alive, basically, and being themselves. So I do feel that Mingyu has just matured. Basically, he learned how to live within the confinements of society and the expectations of what a human being should be like, but also, being himself. Also learning like what battles to pick, right? If he wants to say how like what he thinks and he knows that it's gonna steer trouble, he already, Mingyu learned from Sunkwon how to go about it and get ready to clash energies and fight for like whatever he wanted to go for, or maybe step down and say, you know what, I'm not even going to say anything. Now, the cards that Sunkwon got were the Five of Swords and then the Six of Swords reversed. Okay, so the Five of Swords talks about someone that is trying to win at all cost. It is someone that is victorious. It is someone that has won the battle but not the war. So this kind of shows me that Sunkwon has learned from Mingyu. I was gonna say that Mingyu taught him, but Mingyu doesn't have to like go out of his way to teach him this. This section is usually kind of like what naturally have they learned from each other. So Sunkwon has learned from Mingyu how to not give up and also not being afraid of like small consequences or inconveniences to winning, basically achieving your goals. And how should I put it, I think Sunkwon really felt guilty about succeeding in life or achieving his goals because sometimes that required for somebody else to lose. So let's say there was a competition and Sunkwon wanted to win because that was his goal. That is a showcase of how his skills have improved and all of those things, right? But it was painful for Sunkwon because he could, again, he's very sensitive and he's very aware of the situation. He was able to feel how hard the other person or the other people had worked for the same goal that he had in mind. He was able to see how challenging and difficult it was for them, just as it was for him. So it made it very a bug literally just went into my mouth. I don't know if you can see it. The little black dot, that is a bug that went into my mouth. I don't know what I was saying, but it went into my mouth when I was saying that. That's so gross. I almost ate a bug, guys. Gross. Put that as clickbait title. I ate a bug while doing a reading. That is so gross. I lost my train of thought because of that bug. So yeah, with the Five of Swords, it also shows that, Sunkwon learned that there's nothing wrong with winning. Even though, yeah, him winning or achieving his goals does mean that somebody had to lose. But, there's Sunkwon doesn't need to have any remorse or regret for achieving his goals. It just kind of shows that those people have to, maybe it was not their time, maybe it was not their day, or maybe they still have a lot more to learn. And there's nothing wrong with that. So basically, Sunkwon learned how to just enjoy his victories and appreciate his wins. And the Six of Swords reversed kind of shows someone that kind of stays in issues and conflict, stays in this mind of confusion and even fear. So I do feel that Sunkwon learned from Mingyu that there's nothing wrong with conflict. There is nothing wrong with turmoil or how should I put it? There is value in arguing. There is growth with having clashing energies. There is a lot of things that you can learn from someone by talking about your differences, your different points of view, by acknowledging issues and acknowledging problems. There is a lot of things that a lot of growth that can come from that. So basically, Seungkwan learned to appreciate even the challenges and difficulties in life. So the best way I can explain it is that I mentioned earlier that Seungkwan is very aware of his situation, of people, how they feel, and the changes in behavior or in the environment. And with the Six of Swords, it kind of shows that, with it being reversed, it kind of shows that Seungkwan learned how to be okay with the uncomfortable, basically. Be okay with those moments that no one wants to talk about, because there's a lot of value and a lot of growth that can come from them. But let's go into the last card, which is, why did Seungkwan and Mingyu meet? What is the purpose? So we have 3 cards. We have the full moon eclipse with conclusions are within reach, new moon in Sagittarius with luck is on your side, and the last card is new moon in Libra with a new romantic cycle begins. So with these cards, it kind of shows that the reason that they met was so they could help each other out by understanding the true meaning of love, unconditional love. Sounds kind of cheesy, right? But what I mean by that is being able to accept someone that is so different from you, and understanding the values of your differences, and also coming to terms with what actually makes you alike and what makes you similar as individuals. With the conclusions are within reach, it kind of feels that they complement each other very well, and it's almost as if you have 2 pieces that are very, very different. However, they kind of work together very well. Whatever one is lacking, the other one is able to understand, because they're not like that. So they're able to see in the other what the other cannot see of themselves, and vice versa, right? And I do feel that they are together because there's still a lot of things that they have to learn from each other because of those differences. There's different ways of acting, thinking, and going about their lives. And with the new moon in Sagittarius with luck is on your side, it feels like they're going through this new beginning or this new journey where they are trying to understand their blessings and understand the beautiful things that life has to offer, and trying to be optimistic about the good things that the universe has out there for them and how their goals can come true. You know, they like to hang out together and think of how the impossible can be possible and how it can be created, these infinite possibilities, these infinite paths, this way of how things can like a miracle just become true and dreams happen, that kind of thing. And the last card with the new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. I do feel that they both are kind of helping each other out, so like that they understand what unconditional love is, right? Being able to accept someone for who they are and have no, I guess, expectations that, oh, you have to be this way, you have to be that way, or I can only hang out with people like this or people like that. Like, they're breaking that idea and that, I guess, that stereotype of being compatible, basically, or breaking this idea of love has to be this way, it has to be that way. And they're able to acknowledge that 2 people can definitely get along despite how different they are, or they can get along with no conditions of how the relationship has to work or how everyone has to behave. You know, they both find a lot of freedom with their way of doing things and their way of acting and their way of, I guess, going on about with their lives. Now, to finish off this reading, I want to talk about the Sagittarius and the Libra here, since I've been talking about astrology quite a lot. So it feels like the reason that they met was to embark together on this journey of growth, balance, and partnership. So Libra is a sign about balance, harmony, and partnership, and Sagittarius is a sign about growth, learning, and adventure, as well as just being optimistic, right? So they both met each other, so like that they were able to find like this balance about how people interact, and understanding how relationships work, understanding the dynamic of people and how their energies affect each other, how their actions affect each other, their speech, you know, basically how other people influence each other and change and shape the environment and their thinking, all of those things. Like, that's one of the reasons why they met, and it was part of their growth. It was part of their journey, and it is also part of their higher perspective on how relationships work. So this goes beyond labels. It goes beyond our surface level idea of relationships. It's kind of like just how individuals just interact with each other shape who we are as people. That's the best way I can put it, right? I don't know really how to explain it, but I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. And it's just basically people just being themselves and acknowledging that other people are out there and are helping them by just being themselves as well. Again, it's like you have two individuals that are themselves so much that it naturally just helps other people around them by being like a role model of sorts, right? That's kind of what they're doing for each other. They're, you have someone with their strengths and weaknesses that naturally helps out somebody else that may have another set of strengths and weaknesses, and then they're very compatible because they work very well with each other, because they understand each other from very opposing points of view even. But yeah, I hope you guys understand it. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I will see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. I hope you guys learn from this or find it entertaining, and I'll see you on the next one, whatever that is and however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and bye.